Get strong.
5-8. Yep. Come on!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the Spiked Lemonade podcast. I'm your host, Josh DiDonato, and I'm here tonight with
Ryan Paul
from Philly. We are two Spike Ball bros who met via the Spike Ball app. When did we meet?
We met in September.
Yeah, we met in September
Thank God for the
2021.
Spike Ball app.
Yeah, brought us all together, met some good people, made some good contacts. There's been a handful of podcasts coming together in the RoundNet community, and thought that it'd be cool to put one together that was from more of a contender level player's perspective, not just like some well-known players that have their name in the game and have reached like pro level and have done a lot for the sport. Sort of like he and I are playing in the contender ranks, trying to earn that premier status, and thought it'd be cool to put together a podcast from our vantage point as we try and achieve our 2022 goal, which ultimately is to have fun and earn premier if we can. And that's really why we're here talking. We have some stuff to bring up, some questions to answer. We're going to talk. We played in Richmond last weekend, and going to give you a little breakdown of our weekend and some of the teams we played and what we thought maybe were the reasons, some separating factors between the teams that made it versus some that didn't. And that's really why we're here. We're here just to have fun. We are a group of Spike Ballers, are known as the Lemon Lads RoundNet. We play in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at Lemon Hill Park, right behind Boathouse Row, for all that are familiar with the area. So we're kind of keeping the theme rolling here with the spiked lemonade. We may, have a few drinks on the podcast, really have some fun, and answer some silly questions. We're pretty much straight shooters. We want to get really good at this sport. It's a fun sport. It's a good community, way to stay active. And that's really the intro. Anything you think would be nice to add to the intro, or want to talk about how you got into Spike Ball or anything really?
Yeah, we're sticking with the lemons. We all met each other at different places through the app, and then eventually we were like, where can we play pickup in Philly that has free parking and available parking and isn't annoying to get to? So this place, Lemon Hill, was a 5-minute drive for me up in the northern side of the city. So I was like, let's meet up here. And then since then, we're just sticking with the lemons. We got Spike Lemonade Podcast. We got the Lemon Lab. That's where we work on our skills. And we got Lemon Hill for the pickup games.
That's right.
Yeah. So I guess we could start with how we all met each other. So that starts with you.
I like that. So the core group of our the Lemon Lads, who I hope to have everybody on here at least once so you can get to know everybody, is well, I guess Ryan, you kind of started it, but I met
you and Jake.
Yeah, that's true. I met a gentleman by the name of Jake Mottershead from Pennsylvania, an up-and-coming premier. I think he'd get premier by the end of year, but a good contender level player trying to earn premier status like us. Met him on the Spike Ball app. He connected with Ryan playing in Philly. I linked up with them. The three of us sort of were of the best players in our group. We got together, met someone by the name of Brandon Timonier from Drexel University, right?
Yep.
Drexel University. He came and played with us. We met a guy by the name of Mike Garrett from Rowan University, and our five. We've played with others in the mix, but that 5 really started this group, and we've been grinding together. We've played all throughout the off season. We played in rain. We played in some snow. We went out a couple weeks and dug out, played for 4 or 5 hours after digging out in the snow. We've really really have gone hard and tried to get as good as we can, as quickly as we can with our group and some of the better players in the area. What are some of the best players in the area we've linked up with?
Well, back to what you were saying too, there was about twice where we'd pull up for a pickup game in Lemon Hill, 9 o'clock. You look on the phone and it says feels like 0. So it was tough back in January and so, but
That's
yeah,
true.
we're getting out of there. So for best players, we've linked up with, the obvious one is Gabe Finocchi. We meet up with him and we get some good serve receive practice there. Dan Banowski's pretty good, obviously, another premier player. But yeah, we've got
I'd say
another.
they're probably the best two guys that we meet up with outside.
Yeah, those are probably the best two. And then we've got a lot of other people who are premier level around us too. And as for, I didn't play with him. I know you played against him. That guy in New York who's playing with his girlfriend.
Yeah, he was a stud.
What was
I
his
forget
name?
his name. His name was Archie. Artie? Something
Yeah,
like that. He was a stud.
Yeah. Other than that, we've got, who are the other premier people? Zach Vance, Scott Beeks. Not premier. Sorry, Scott.
You gotta
But
throw it
respect, I put you in that column. Connor Pralich. Who else we got?
in. Very good server. I like Connor. I think he's an underrated server. People just talk about him being at a lot of tournaments and being involved in like the spike community. But the man can serve. I really don't care what anybody says. He can rip some serves.
Yeah, I cheat his cut, but then he gets me with a reverse sometimes when it lands. So, yeah.
I actually talked to him behind the scenes because I really like to get him on the podcast too, because he is at so many events.
Yeah,
and he
knows
just,
a lot of people.
You know what I like about him? I like that he brings people together. Even if I haven't watched a ton of his gameplay, so I've only seen him serve like in our small groups. But anytime that I hear people talk about him, it's like in a positive way. And like I know he's been to a ton of stuff and he's really involved. He's been at every single tournament I've ever been at, and I've only played in like 4, 5. So
Yeah, all except that New York one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he introduced me to real spike ball. I was back home in Jersey before I met any of you lemons, and there was something on the app. It was a nice day. Me and my friend from back home, Jared Morris, were both free, so I was like, let's just hop in the car, take this 40-minute drive, and play some pickup spike ball. And we were both at that point playing with like gentleman's serves, just tossing it on. So yeah, no, we weren't playing with the no-hit zone at that point. We roll up there. Connor, Kevin McLean, another premier guy we forgot to mention earlier, were there hitting cut serves and push shots and stuff. And we were like, wow, this is pretty legit. Yeah, so then a month later, I think everything started with the lemons.
That's pretty
But
cool.
yeah, that was my first time.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks, Connor.
Thank you, Connor. Speaking of keeping and bringing people together, we also, if anyone's seen Kung Fu Panda, this is Master Uwe, who is our backdrop here. Just give you a little, the badass turtle from that movie who just has some crazy, crazy sayings. I also think that the camera's shaking a touch, just like when we're off the table, it seems to be a bit more stable. So that's just a little interlude. We may cut that shit right on out, but who cares? So let's go right into our Richmond. Do you want to go into, have me talk about mine, you talk about yours, or do you want to sort of bounce off of each other?
We could do game 1, game 1, game 2, game 2.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Richmond, contender level. I think it's important because every tournament that I've entered at the STS level, it seems like the contender pool is like 3 times the size of the premier pool. It's like the game is exploding right now, and it's just so damn competitive in the contender ranks. I think it's the hardest it's ever been to earn the premier status, and maybe that's slightly biased because we're in it right now, but we are in it. So like I see how good everyone is. I see the level of serving. So this past weekend I did play with a friend of mine named Jake, one of our aforementioned Lemon Lads. We entered in the weekend under the team name Smoke and Mirrors and really got off to a bit of a shaky start. So we're going to go through our pool play and give you a little bit of a read of what we saw, what was working, what wasn't. Talk about other teams and maybe things that you could focus on or maybe not focus on as much as you got into it. So bang, we get there early, kind of cold, wasn't that sunny, was supposed to be nicer. So game 1, McCarran's second worst against Ricky Santiago and Nikhil. Good team, solid. It was early in the day, so I'm not trying to throw shade, but they didn't really bring anything that made me think we couldn't beat them, and that's like just me being real. But they showed up. They landed some nice serves. Jake and I went on 2. We never go on 2. It's like really sacrilege for us. I think we went on 2 4 times and missed 3 of them just because we're dumb, I guess. But had some unforced. Yeah, we had some unforced errors, some setting errors, a lot of high serves. We just were rusty. We were just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We started slow, and we lost game 1, 15-10, to Ricky and Nikhil, who played well, didn't make many mistakes. They're agile, good sets. They didn't make any mistakes. They played clean. They beat us game 1, 15-10.
Yeah. My first game, I guess one thing before I start with this is I'm big on warm-ups. I was a pitcher, you got to get your bullpen in before the game, and I got myself into a pretty good system in college where I would play catch, throw my bullpen, then throw a simulated inning. So I'm just that kind of guy that's all about prep. And that was a weak part of, I guess you guys had a little bit better warm-up, but high probability didn't warm up that well. We were goofing around a little bit, light kills, just light serves, and then it came down for game time, and I was like, yo, we got to find a net. I got to get a feel for this ball real quick. That didn't happen. So we went into this game against City, and they beat us 15-13. I'm surprised it was that close because I think I landed 1 put on serve and double faulted the rest of the time. Thank God for my teammate Mike Garrett. And yeah, the rest of our play was good, defense, setting, but I personally was terrible serving that first game. Just knew I didn't have the feel for it.
That was game 1. So you guys started 0-1 as well.
Yep.
Okay. Game 2, Jake and I played against Knock Knock, which is actually a pretty good team from DC. This guy, I don't know their last names, but I know they're Brian and Albert. Brian, I played my first ever tournament.
It's Alvin.
Alvin?
I think so.
Just says A here, so I apologize either way. But either way, incredible serving, especially right out of the gate. What were we, 30 minutes into the tournament? Both of them landing serves consistently. Good energy. I think they have really good chemistry, too. The two of them, they play together a lot.
Yeah.
And they were setting each other well. And I listened to that RoundNet podcast, and I really liked the segment in the last episode about the team chemistry. And these guys just, talk to each other well. They're always building each other up. Somebody makes a mistake, they're right there picking each other up. So kudos to you guys who we've played before. I think Ryan and I played against this team here, Knock Knock, in Pennsylvania earlier this year. And I don't know. I really was impressed with you guys. I know that they ended up, what did they end up? They ended up 4-3 in pool play. But, kudos to you guys coming out hot. You bring a lot of good energy to the game, too. I could tell that you both like it and should be like ambassadors of the sport. And I really enjoyed that game. We ended up losing to those guys in a close one, 15-13. And there's not really much to say about the game. They landed some serves. We played some defense, and we started the pool playoff 0-2.
Yeah. As for our game, too, we played a team called Vending Machine Learning, which you'll now see as a premier team. They had finished second in the tournament. And we lost 15-8, and it just came down to serving. That's how a lot of this stuff is. I'm not sure which one of the two was acing us, but we got aced 7 times by...
The same guy?
Yeah, by the shorter guy, whichever one of the two of you it was. Yeah, we see small cuts in the Lemon group. We don't see big cuts, and he had a big cut, so we just weren't touching it.
Okay, so you guys start 0-2. Smoke and Mirrors ends up playing their next game against Full Throttle, game 3. These last names are tough. Beckenranov? Sorry, bro. I'm not quite sure. And Hargrove. Whoever had the longer hair was a son of a bitch at the serving line. I'll tell you what. We went up on them 8-3 right out of the gate. We made a lot of defensive stops. I was just putting a put-on serve, playing, defensive touches, and I don't know who it was here, which one of you two lads, but somebody caught fire and was landing serves really well. They ended up coming back on us, taking us to extras. In extras, we had a game point that I set my partner up for an overhand smash, and he went right into the rim. Jake, I love you, but I gotta blast you a little bit there. We could have used that one, might have helped a little bit, but I made my share of mistakes as well. It's not all on you, so I know you're going to take offense to it and be very salty that I said that, but that's just life. And we end up losing to these guys 17-19. Start off our pool play. 0-3 after a 5-hour trek down to Virginia, and now we're just starting to unravel a little bit and thinking that we're not even going to get into the top 32 to have a chance. So I was a little bummed, I'll be honest. Jake was helped keeping my spirits up a little bit, but I was a little bit annoyed.
Yeah,
being honest.
Well, they were struggling, but this is where my team turned it around. We played a team called Mooney and Kaufman, and we wound up winning 18-16. It was a very close game, but this was probably the game I'm most proud of looking back now. In our group of lemons, Josh and Jake, the two people in Smoke and Mirrors, are known as kind of the defense guys, and me and my teammate Mike are kind of the big hitters. His right arm, my left arm, we're just smacking it. But this game, I think I probably had 6 or 7 body touches. Ooh. And that was pretty sick because that hasn't happened in a while. Jake and Josh like to set dead center net. They could work angles, so when they're getting perfect sets, there's not really any chance for me. But these guys, I guess, just weren't those style of hitters. They were kind of hard hitters too, like the ball over the rim, so I just knew where to put my body. And yeah, I honestly think I got 6 or 7 touches. They were kind of just like, oh my God, they were like, I can't get it past this kid.
Let's go.
And looking at the score, 18-16, that had to be what won the game. So
I like that.
That's the one game of this where I'm like,
you were happy with the defensive performance?
Yeah, defense.
Put you guys at what? 1-2?
1-2 right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Not much to say for our fourth game. We played Monkey Business, Stokes and Hernandez. Hernandez, not to be confused with Aaron Hernandez, but we killed it. Again, not to be punny, but we killed it. We played really well. First win under our belt. We're 1-3. And I told Jake before we started the game, like, hey, dude, we came all this way. We got an Airbnb. It's Ryan's birthday. The Lemon lads are here having fun. Like, let's just have fun. Who cares? We lose, we win. We're having fun. It's our first contender level tournament. Let's have a good time. So we're 1-3 after playing Monkey Business.
Yep. Our game, we were playing 2 of a kind for game 4. They were twins with the last name Mayfield. And I was watching them. They were playing while we were waiting for them, and they looked pretty good. One of them, I'm not sure, one was righty, one was lefty. The righty, I saw hit a really nice cut, so I was like, oh, great, we're going to have to see some legit cuts again. But I guess we were just ready for it. We saw the nasty cut from vending machine learning, so I guess this was maybe a notch down from that compared to that. We were just like, oh, this isn't that bad. So it was a close game. They're a good team, but I think Mike was acing, probably had 3 or 4 aces that game, thankfully. And yeah, 15-12.
Put you at
W.
What?
We're now 2-2.
2-2. Smoke and Mirrors goes into game 5 against Lefty Drop on 2. See if we can get a couple shout outs here. Math and Funk. These guys are actually really, really cool guys. We beat them 15-6, but they were really cool guys. I know we had like a couple calls, whether it's high, side pocket and everything, and like they were making calls on themselves, which is nice to see. You don't really see that in the tournament that much, so not a ton to say, but we're 2-3 after 5 games with a 15-6 win over Lefty Drop on 2. Two pretty cool dudes.
Nothing to say much with our game either. Game 5 we play Moby Flick and win 15-9. I think me and Mike probably each had like 2 aces each this game. Not sure if much defense happened, but I think just super clean offense and a couple aces gets us that lead.
There. I love it. What are you overall at this point?
We are now 3-2.
3-2 after 5. We are 2-3 after 5. Game 6. We've now rattled off 3 wins in a row after playing Never Butter, beating them 15-9. Case and Kellett, last names of these 2 guys that we played against. I honestly don't remember much about this game. I just still at this point thought we didn't have a chance. But then we went to 3-3. We got on the Flango app. I started to see that there was, there's 72 teams, and I think there was like 30 to 35 teams that all had that same record of, depending on if they'd finished 4-3, 3-3, 3-4. So yeah, I remember telling Jake, like, hey, if we show up in this last game, we may actually get a victory, and we may be able to crack into the top 32. So we were 3-3 after 6.
Our game 6, we play a team called Please Venmo, and good differential here. We got 15-5. I don't remember much about this one either, except Mike had his fair share of aces.
He was serving well.
Yeah, this one, his righty hard, decent cut was just, I think, coming in too fast. Yeah.
I love it. So set the stage. We go on the app. We check it out. We see that we can get in with a victory heading into this last game as we first start. Jake and I sort of weren't trying to dwell on that a lot, but I kind of like to see where we are. He'd rather just not know and just play. I was more like, hey, my girlfriend was there. She's on the app. Check it out. We got a chance. Do we not have a chance? And it looked like we did. So we actually played, I felt like one of the better teams in the group. Their name was Tasmirs. Who the hell knows? They had pretty cool jerseys. They were also nice guys. The dude with the tighter haircut, he had some tattoos on his arm, had a really good first serve. His second serve was more of a put-on serve, but had a really good first serve. And we kind of took them back and forth. And if you guys ever listen to this, which I'm not saying you will, because who the hell will, but when your buddies came over to watch the game, and they were almost like cheering for you guys, it gave me like a little extra like, oh, heck no. So at one point in time in the game, their friends, which I think are premier level guys, came over and were like egging them on and almost like messing with them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just kind of fired me up. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not losing now because your buddies are here and this is now turned into a game and we need it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't even think I was all that friendly towards the end because I was like, I just have to win this. I'm not going all the way home after this. They made it into the bracket too, and all that shenanigans to say, cool guys. I know we talked to you guys afterwards after the tournament. Really good team, and I don't know how many contender level tournaments you guys have done, but I look forward to seeing you guys at more, and I think you make a real deep run really soon. They were good, bro. They were good. Not even just saying it. They were good. Yeah. So we ended up 4-3, finished a 27 seed in the top 32, and we got a chance.
Yeah. Our game 7, we're 4-2 going into this, and a little context for this too. So this guy AJ Martin, my teammate was looking him up on Instagram on the ride, and he was hitting some nice serves on Instagram, I gotta say.
That's
so
great.
My teammate was getting pretty nervous. I'm more just like have confidence, and like anyone could double fault at any time. So don't get too hyped about like some nice flango. But he did hit a nice flango on Instagram, but. I just figured, like who's to say he's going to land that filthy thing against us? So we roll in. We get up to a pretty good lead to start. We were up like 7-3 at some point. I don't remember how it happened. Probably an ace or two from each of us. I don't know. But yeah, so at that point, Mike runs over to me. Yo, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. I'm not that worried about it like I was before. And
mid-game? He's telling me?
Mid-game, yeah. They like called the timeout,
Come on,
and he's
Garrett.
like, yo, we're feeling pretty good. So then after that, I think we double faulted the rest of the time, me and my teammate Mike, but we just serve received well, killed everyone, and just kept that lead. Maybe they had an ace or two in the meantime, but just played clean to maintain that lead while we couldn't get anything else going.
So what was your final record?
So we end 5-2 going into the playoffs.
Okay. So before we get into what happened to us in the playoffs, I think it'd be important. I'd like if you could start. I want you to highlight a couple things that you thought separated from your pool, the top 2 or 3 finishers in your pool versus the bottom. What did you think a couple differences were in the ability or the team? Anything. I think it's important.
My pool, looking back, I think me and Mike still could have done a little better. I think losing game 1, 15-13 when I was serving super bad is a missed opportunity where if I just prepped a little better, we should have won that game pretty well and finished 6-1. In no day do we beat vending machine learning. We were definitely just outclassed on serve and serve receive there. I think that's pretty much it. Vending machine learning had 2 great servers and were clean players besides that, and me and Mike are clean players in most ways too, but just don't have the spin and the movement on our serves.
I'm with you. I gotta look this one thing up here because I think it's important for our group, which was Group H in the tournament. The top 3 finishing teams were, besides us, because we did finish 3rd in our group, were McCarran's second worst, who went 7-0, Nikhil and Ricky. Full Throttle, who we played, and Taz Myers, who I referenced later in the day. The things that and Knock Knock, who I referenced, the two guys from DC, they finished 5th, so they were 2 notches down, but we all had the same record. Serving right away. So Knock Knock, I saw parts of their first game, played against them in their second game, saw parts of their third game. Landing serves right away. Maybe they got a good warm-up in, maybe they woke up early and hit some before they got there. I don't know. Maybe you guys are just clutch right out of the gate. More power to you. I saw that serves right away. Awesome. Taz Myers, great defensively, touches, put-ons, just good defensively, moving around. And McCarron, second worst. Ricky, I didn't see much. I saw part of like 2 or 3 of his games, maybe like 5-6 points. He slowly ramped it up to he had to work his way up. He didn't look like he got out of the gate all that hot, but a high-level player. And so why were they where they were? Ricky is a premier level guy, and he's just good. Nikhil wasn't being carried. He's also good. They played really well. Full Throttle, dude with the long hair. Slight carry job of your partner, not to be rude, but yeah, slight. He ripped. He scored like 6 straight points on us. That's a ripster. Knock Knock, good serves out of the gate. Taz Myers, good team chemistry. Great team jerseys, which is underrated because I think it brings you together, and I'm a really big advocate of if you look good, you feel good, you play good. So that's what I think. That's what I think set them apart. So let's go into it first. Hit me first with your matchup. What seed are you playing? What was their record? What's the scoop?
I don't know where to find that.
What was? I'll look it up for you. Just talk about who they were. I'll find it for you.
So, I found it. So we were high probability seeded number 23 out of the 71 teams, top 32 enter the top bracket. So we were playing the 10 seed Daddy Longlegs, who finished 6-1 with a 31 point differential. So,
Jesus,
how this went? I think they were local. They were from somewhere in Virginia. They had a big group of people cheering them on. And we are going into this feeling pretty confident. 10 seed, not undefeated. Me and Mike just won 5 straight, so we're like, okay, why not? Mm-hmm. And we started off game 1 good. We won. I don't see the scores here, but I feel like it was like 21-18. And
that's what it was. I saw it.
Yeah, so we were pretty comfortable. I thought their serves weren't that good for being the 10 seed. Their serves are pretty manageable. I think we got aced a couple of times the whole entire series, but their serve receive was very good. They must play with someone who is a good server, because even though we're not that filthy, like, we cut the ball a little bit, but we hit the ball hard. So usually we get some aces just from people not being comfortable with me being lefty, and just the speed. Sometimes it hits off your hand weird, but wasn't happening. So yeah, they were great serve receivers. They were decent defenders. They were getting some touches, especially once they realized that me and Mike are just usually going for something hard. And they were very clean on kills. The tall guy had a really nice open, so I was pretty much trying to cover his pull the whole entire time, and the open was there. I don't know where Mike was. Mike wasn't there for the open shot, so that was getting us a pretty decent amount. So yeah, game 1, we're good. We get the win. We're like, oh wow, we're pretty comfortable. Let's do it. Game 2, we flop. I think it was like 21-14, 21-15. Maybe if we got 1 or 2 aces game 1, that just wasn't happening. That was getting our confidence down. And I think that also, I didn't know this the moment of, but my teammate self-confessed to going on a double fault spree games 2 and 3. So I guess we never got those chances to get defensive touches. That we were getting touches all day, so that was probably a big factor. And also, I think at a certain point they knew we were pulling. I don't think they were making that adjustment game 1. They might have talked, and by game 2, maybe they're going short long. So they were covering the boom ball. I think we were still hitting it far enough to where we killed that a high percentage of the time, because it requires a perfect set and a good kill after that. But wasn't there. And then game 3, pretty much same story. The shorter player did get us with back-to-back Fuego aces, though. He had one hard one that went way wide past me. Like, Fuego had cut. That's something.
That's
there.
next level.
Yeah, and then next thing, he does the same exact setup and then just drops Mike. But, yeah, that's it.
That's your scoop. It was a good run. After 0-2, winning 5 in a row, taking them 3 games. I think it was a good showing for you guys.
Yeah, so we finished 6-4.
6-4 is respectable. So listen,
Yeah.
Smoke and Mirrors entered in because we had such a slow start at 0-3 in our pool. We entered in against a team that I actually had already seen a little bit of their footage online from nationals, and I didn't really realize it until after we started playing, and I'll get into that in a second. But we played against Nittany Nation, who went 7-0 in pool play, 105 points for, 72 points against, 33 net. These guys are going to be dangerous. I'm just telling you, they're going to be dangerous. Where's our scores? Who cares? I remember how it all went down. So we get into the game and we start right away noticing that they're made up of 2 guys from Penn State University, Tyler K. and Henry from Penn State. I can't remember his last name, but Henry, you know who you are, man. You're a monster. It was actually really fun seeing you move around and play. Just a beast. But we played against these 2 guys. Maybe gave them a touch too much respect in game 1, which slowly started to kind of dissipate as the game went on. It was a back and forth battle. They earned some aces from the stripe, which we didn't. We earned our points with put on serves, getting touches. We tried to frustrate them defensively. That's kind of Jake and I's our game, and it was actually working. Game 1, we went up on them 16-14, and they called a timeout, clutch mode timeout. Changed the momentum. We kind of thought we had them in game 1. They ended up flipping the script on us. I think they scored 4 straight. Take game 1, 21-18. Second game, more aces but better rallies. They're up by 2. We pull in by 1. They go up by 3. We pull it into 1. Some back and forth like that, but they kind of were always in control, even with it being a 1-point game. One of those games where you're like, we need a point or 2 here or there. Just really good. Only minor downside to these guys. If I had to hear one more "come on Henry" or "turn me up Henry" or "turn me up," I was just gonna walk off. So that was just a mind blast. So we were messing around about that after. If I had to hear one more of that, I was walking out of that place, walking out of that bitch. But you guys are beasts. I was rooting for you the rest of the way. I know they came within a couple points of earning Premier. I expect to see them again. I expect them to get Premier this year.
Don't drag that foot, Henry.
Don't drag that foot on game point, Henry. You deserve to beat those guys from the Czech Republic. You deserve to beat them.
Who got first place?
They did get first place, so good on you. So they were really, really good dudes. We connected with them after. May try and get some pickup with them at some point in time here because they're only within maybe 2 hours. But can't say enough good things about those guys. I really enjoyed watching them compete and competing with them. And so Richmond Roundup, man, the high-level play was awesome in the contender ranks. I thought that serving separated some of the really good teams from the 4-3 and 5-2 teams. I think if we improve our serving by Philly in June by maybe 15-20%, we may be able to go. Maybe we go 6-1. We get a bit of a higher seed. What do you think? 7-0.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think the Lemon group as a squad plays some great defense, offense, and setting. I think if we were to get on their level of serves, I don't think most contender teams can match with that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I definitely thought that me and Mike played the best defense of all 8 teams I played that day. I'm sure you thought the same thing because you guys are the 2 known defenders of our group. So
yeah.
You
can say too, even the guys who played from Penn State, they even made mention to you guys were challenging from a defensive perspective and made us question certain hits. And I was trying to cut off the big guy's pull a lot because he was trying to hit a boom ball pull. We had probably 5-6 body touches in games 1 in the early part of game 2. So we showed up. We played well. We came up a little short. They ended up playing a second round matchup against, I'm not going to say the name, I don't really remember. And then they kind of went on to tell us hey, you guys would have competed with them, maybe even beat them. And then they went on to come within a couple points of earning Premier status. So I sort of like rode on that. Like, we weren't there. We weren't ready to get it just then, but we're not miles away. We're more like yards away, maybe a couple 100 yards away. But it was awesome. I had a blast. I know that Dallas is coming this weekend. I wish all the contender level players this weekend good luck. It's exciting, man, and it's like it's all part of the spike journey, the round net journey. Like, I know we've been grinding because we really do want to achieve this premier level status, play with those top tier guys and compete and like walking around on the field and seeing some of the big names play. It's exciting. It's fun. So I want to be a part of it. I know that Ryan and some of the other guys in our group, well, all the other guys in our group, they want it too. So we're looking forward to competing and trying to get it, but the journey's fun too, like grinding all off season just to have a chance now to put ourselves in and amongst the better players that aren't yet premier. Like, it's been fun. So like, even if we don't get it this year, I will not hang my head because it's been a blast, and it's been like my COVID sort of getaway activity.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If I wasn't spiking right now, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd just be sitting inside watching TV all the time, which sucks. That makes me go crazy. So
True. Okay, yeah. We did take a poll. We picked up a couple questions, although this is episode 1 of the Lemons. The juice is worth the squeeze. We got questions from people outside of our circle, spike-related questions, because I don't want to just do this PC podcast where we just say, like, oh, we need a bigger bowl, like crazy shit. No. I want to go right to it and answer the hard hitters. I want to come at you with some fire. So here's a little bit of fire. 3 questions. Ryan, you're up first. Question number 1. I want you to go with this. Serving, hitting, setting, defense. 4 things. I want you, and by the way, no disrespect, Scott. You know I love you after you stole my hat. 4 things. I want you to rank them in order of importance in the game today, whether it being played at the contender level or the premier level. How would you rank those 4 in order of importance in today's game?
I might try to rank these differently for both levels.
Let's hear it. That's cool.
I mean, I think serving is going to be first for both of those, unfortunately. But fortunately, you can work on that all the time. So just do it. But for contender, I'm going to put defense pretty far down there. I think we saw that. I mean, defense is cool. Defense can give you a couple points, but the Lemons didn't make it far in bracket play with the defense that we've been working on. And as for high probability, our team name is called High Probability because we don't have to set each other perfectly. As long as we're within, I'd say 3 feet of the net, that ball's getting on. It's getting on hard, and it's getting on almost every time. Mm-hmm. So that gets us a lot of wins. If we didn't have that aspect of our game, we probably do a lot worse in pool play. We might be looking at 2-5, but with people, a lot of teams at this contender, either body defense is weak or it's not controlled to the point where they're getting a good second touch and getting a good kill on after that. So hitting at the contender level, I'll put second. Setting third because you can definitely botch a set and nothing's worse than that. Still got to be close enough to the net. If Mike's setting me outside the serving circle, that's not getting back on. And defense fourth, but at the premier level, I'd go serving first, setting second, defense third, hitting fourth. And hitting's important, but the set is what creates the hit. Like if Josh isn't setting me lefty or is setting me the opposite side of the net and I'm not the most mobile, I currently don't have the dive in my arsenal. That's going to be worked on in the next month or 2, but currently, if he was to set me across net, I don't have the opportunity to hit. And so the setter really creates all the hitting for me. And luckily, I've played with Josh and I've played with Mike enough where we iron that out, and then we're just on cruise control. But yeah,
I love it. I don't even have anything to add because I agree fully. I agree fully with that. Okay, I want you to handle question 2 as well, if you could. And I guess we can both answer it, but there's 2 parts here. First part, if you were to obtain premier status, let's say this past weekend, mm-hmm. and you're going to go to Dallas, and you could play with anybody you want to make your first premier level run, and it can't be one of us, it has to be like an established player, who would you like to, you get one run, who would you like to play with to make a run?
I'd either go with Buddy Hammond because defense is great, or Frederick Hinkle because he reminds me of the type of player I want to be and strive to be. And I'd probably go with Frederick because of that. Not only would it be fun to play with him, but also I could learn a lot. He destroys the ball, and I do hope to have a little more of my non-dominant arm in than he does. But I would love to have a dominant arm like his. I like the consistency. Like, you're not going to take a low probability shot when you can just crush the ball and have confidence that the other team's not going to be able to handle it. That's the kind of way I play. That looks like the kind of way he plays. And that might be the baseball background in both of us. I know he played baseball in high school. I played baseball in high school and on a club team in college, so it wasn't like I played D1 or D3, but I think our team could have beat most D3 teams, so we were a good team. But as a pitcher, I was never scared of the hitter. I would throw fastball any count right down the middle and just have faith that they were not going to hit it. And I think that is an underrated part of spike ball. You're putting a lot of trust in the defense if you think they're going to get a perfect body and a perfect set after that, where you're not going to get the point.
True.
How about you?
Okay, so I thought about this a little bit. I love defense, so, there was the Buddy Hammond, but then is there just like two defensive monsters? And I guess he and Clark have made that work together, which is cool. But I like playing with somebody who can rip serves. I like playing with somebody who seems to be a good teammate. And again,
I know what you're going to say.
I don't think you do, because it's out of left field. I like... and again, we're just talking about YouTube content. I've never even seen this guy play in real life. I've never seen him play in person. But you know who I freaking can't get enough of watching, or just feel like it would be badass? Like, I'm trying to get to this level, and not of serving, really. I don't know if it's in me. I like to defend and dive around. I like that savage from Canada. I just call him John B. I don't know what the hell his name is. You know the guy who looks like John B from, what was that? From Outer Banks, John B. Dude from Wonky Sauce, Plett. I think it's Justin Plett. Dude, absolute stud. Probably my favorite player to watch and just have followed. Incredible serves. Made deep runs in a tournament before. I know you dominate the scene in Canada, which is cool. I don't know the level of play. I don't follow it that well. Incredible hair. Seemed to be a good teammate. You guys seem to have good chemistry. You guys picking each other up. Good vibes. Look like you're having fun. The Warren Moon jersey between the wonky sauce style, the flare with the pink and the blue. I go Justin Plett, and I don't even know if there's a close second. Dude, he's a stud.
Grant.
He's good too. But you're the only lefty I want to play with, so we'll go with that.
Hey.
So yeah, Plett, easy money. Plett.
Only lefty. I know another lefty.
Only lefty. I'll stand by it. Sorry, Jake. Okay, this is fun. This one's kind of fun, and I'm not quite sure where you're going to go with this, but it's just a fun question. It was popular amongst our group because everyone always wants to know, because we're New Jersey guys too. Who do you think is the best player in the world? And we don't know a ton about overseas, so it could be who's the best player in the country. We know the ranks. Everyone knows top 10. Everyone knows who's inside 25. If you enjoy the sport and you follow it, you kind of know who's top 25. Your opinion, and I'll go first, you go first, wherever you want. Who do you think the best player in the world is?
I think Ryder. Between nationals and that thing they had, it was either Florida or Texas a couple months ago, where he was playing with Joe Bondi. The ace potential's there, and some of the other people that are at the top level, I think, are a little less consistent than Ryder. But Ryder showed that whole entire tournament, that I think was probably Texas, that he can land it all day, and he can do it both hands. And the both hands is something that some other players have in their arsenal, but it's not necessarily a lethal weapon. But when you can cut both hands and land it that often. I think the landing consistency is probably the biggest thing where I choose him.
Okay. I mean, that's a popular vote, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he is world, US, whatever, number one. He's a beast. I mean, there's nothing to take away. I want you to ask me a few questions because I have a few questions about your answer too. I don't even really think it's all that close. I think that Gabe Finocchi is the best player in the world, and I'm not even quite sure that it's close at this point because he has the serving ability, he has the defensive ability. I think he's one of the top 5 hitters in the world, and like I don't want to see somebody argue or show me 5 better. He's so agile and just so instinctual with his movement, and I saw it this weekend. And this is also not supposed to be not designed to be like a slight on anyone, but the man can win tournaments and win tour stops with anyone. With anyone. Give him a pro level player, he'll win with anybody. And not only just because he's a Jersey guy and I've seen him play a bunch, but I mean, the resume speaks for itself. Like, the man, he just showed up last year, and I don't even know how many tour stops he won, but I know he played with a couple different guys, and he was on the podium with some. He played with the guy, the Travis, for a few, and we watched some of those. But between the level of serving, and some people say he may be streaky from time to time, I haven't seen a lot of streaky. I mean, unless you're talking about streaks of aces. What are you talking about?
Landenberg. What do you think?
Oh,
That's a
Landenberg.
story.
Landenberg. No, we're not going Landenberg. We're not doing that on the pod. Don't do that. We're not going there on the pod. No. So I have a question for you. Do you have any problem with me questioning you saying your answer if I ask you, like, hey man, but like, you got to win? Like, what about like the Michael Jordan debate? Like, you got to win. The man's got to win, and he's a monster, right? But he's got to win, right?
Yeah. I don't know too much about what happened early in the 2021 season.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
really
true.
start even watching the high-level spike ball until Nationals, really. But I know that ever since I started watching, he's looked like a beast. Yeah, and I think Nationals finals, at least, his partner was probably the weakest of the 4. Still a great player, but of the 4 players on there, so he was
Interesting.
Yeah, had a little more work to do. But yeah, as for the difference between your pick and my pick, I think it's just consistency. I've served received Gabe, and it's obvious it's filthy. One thing I try to pick up when watching people is little hints at what is coming. Sometimes the toss is wider for a cut, closer for a reverse. Yeah, but his is hard to see.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the pros think that too. I'm sure they're looking for edges and can't find it, and that's how he goes on his streaks. But yeah, I think just consistency. Sometimes he
and we're
splitting
splitting hairs. Like, we're talking about 2 monsters, and maybe I'm slightly salty too because, you know, I'll stand up and say I'm guilty. I do follow him too on his social, with his round net social, rider social, and he posted something about being injured, and I was like, right away, like, dude, did you see that? He posted something about having like an ankle surgery or something like that, and I slid up on it right away, like a real slider. Like, dude, hope you feel better. Hope you're all good. It's better for the sport when you play. And it was just an April Fool's. So maybe I'm slightly salty, but it was solid. He's a beast. It's really splitting hairs. We're talking about like definitely 2 of the top 3 guys in the world. But yeah, he just said April Fool's. Yeah, he got me and a handful of others, but it was pretty cool. Beasts, but that's really, I don't want to go too far with this too, because we're going to try and upload these once a week, pump these out. It'll be us, it'll be Rye when he can, a couple of other lemons from Philly, a couple other people in the community. I'm trying to get Connor on here too. I think he'd be cool because he's just so like charismatic, and a lot of people in the community look to see him at different places, and he brings a good energy. So I talked to him. He said he may be able to get on here depending on the timing, which would be cool. You'll have Uguay in the back. We'll always bring some sort of positivity in this, even though we'll throw a little bit of shade here and there. But listen, we're just 2 contender level guys that like the sport and are trying to, you know, get as good as we can and go as far as it go. Jeez, I can't even talk at this. Can't even talk anymore, right? Go as far with this as we can. So what do you think? You have anything in closing?
If you're coming to the Philly tour stop, see you there.
Yep, we'll
come up with a team name. we'll let you know.
We'll be there. We look forward to playing against you guys in the Contender ranks. I hope we see you guys from Penn State.
Maybe we'll have to go with Spiked Lemonade.
That'd be kind of badass.
Yeah.
Spiked Lemonade may see you guys in Philly. We'll definitely be there. I hope to see the guys from Penn State that we played again. Come on, Henry, turn me up. I plan on turning you up, Henry, and hitting some aces for you to get excited about. I hope to see some of these other guys. Scott, I know you're done, but part of the reason I did want to do this podcast was because you've been doing some really cool stuff, and I know we've talked a little bit. And you're just a good bro and a good dude for the community. And it's all love. It's all love at the end of the day. And rooting for you overseas in your upcoming soccer season, all good stuff. But it's been fun. We're gonna try and get some of these out, keep them exciting. We're taking some questions, so if you want anything fun answered, clearly we don't care about putting ourselves out there. Like you want to roast us too, that's all good. Like we both have stuff we got to work on, it's all good. Like I'm talking about Ryder not winning, like I haven't won jack shit either. So we're just trying to have fun. It's all for fun. Just like the sport is fun. It's fun to add a little spice to it. So we're just trying to spike your lemonade, essentially get everybody together. And we're going to be in Philadelphia on 6/11. Win or lose, it'll be a good time. We're local too, so hope to see you guys out there, man. And that's really it. Have fun, spike hard, and practice your serving, because God forbid if you don't have it, you ain't winning.